Greetings, students. My name is Robert Sean Kennedy. I'm going to be your history instructor for the spring 2017 semester for History 1301. This orientation series is going to act for both my full semester and mini-mester courses. So please be sure to check the dates within the syllabus for corresponding assignments as we go forward. So the first thing you're going to want to do to get oriented with the course is to click here, and you probably already have done that, to find the orientation. Mandatory orientation is located here. In case you got it from a different place, this is where the videos and questions for the exam are. Click here. This gives you information about the course, so please read through this quite carefully. It talks about response time, talks about when I'm available for office hours and whatnot. Right here is where you're going to access the syllabus. If it doesn't open up the syllabus right here. And right here, you're going to click here, and it should take you to a link that will open up the syllabus. Everything here are quick links. It takes you through the syllabus to understand what are discussion points, chapter quizzes, unit essay exams, and the course schedule. But you can access all of that within this one document here. So please go through this quite carefully to respond to some of the questions, but let me just kind of highlight. The first thing you want to know is that there is no required textbook to purchase for this course. All the reading material and videos will be made available through Blackboard. One thing you're going to want to do, if you have not done so already, is download Lockdown Browser software to your desktop. Lockdown Browser will allow you to take exams in this class. If you have any trouble whatsoever, you're going to want to call 872-2598. That is our Distance Learning Department helpline. Again, that number is 872-2598. But usually students have no problem downloading the software. It's pretty straightforward. You click the link, it opens up, you click Install Now, and then follow the instructions from there. Down here, you want to make sure you're aware of what everything is worth. The mandatory orientation exam doesn't count against you. It's 5% extra credit, but it is mandatory, and you have to earn a 100% in order to pass it. You can take it as many times as you like, though. The discussion posts, real quick, the discussion posts are going to act, let me go down to right here. They're going to act as a collective study session, online study session for your unit essay exams. So in order to do well on the unit essay exams, you want to provide specific examples from the readings. And this is what the discussion posts are going to do. So looking at the first bullet point, you're required to submit a discussion post for the unit essay exam from one of the essay prompts. And so you click this link, it'll take you to the essay prompts for each one. So basically what you're doing is you're going through the readings. You're going to pick for Unit 1 discussion posts. You're going to pick one of these essay prompts. And as you read, you want to find an example that will help respond to this to one of these essay prompts. You don't have to pick all of them, you just have to pick one. All right, so let's go back. Your post must include 2 examples referring to one primary and one secondary source with an explanation and or analysis of how your sources, your example, assist you in responding to the essay prompt. Your explanation or analysis must be at least one well-organized written paragraph, at least 5 to 6 sentences. So let me explain the distinction between a primary and secondary source. A primary source is a source that comes from the historical time in which you are studying. So, and I'll show you where those are located in a little bit within the assigned chapters. But it could be a journal, it could be a a letter written by somebody that we're studying, so a letter written by Christopher Columbus, for example. It could be a newspaper clipping. It could be a law passed at that time. But yeah, I'll show you where you look. They're hyperlinked within the assigned chapters. And a secondary source is any information that you get from a history textbook. And our history textbook is electronic, and again, it's available within Blackboard. I will show you that later. Right? You must reply to 2 students' posts offering them suggestions of how to use their provided sources to respond to the essay prompt. Your response must be at least one well-organized written paragraph, at least 5 to 6 sentences. So in other words, you're going to read through students' responses. You're going to add any further information that would help the student and the other students that will be reading these posts as well. So do take a look at that when you're able to. Chapter quizzes. At the end of each assigned chapter, and I'll show you this specifically in just a little bit, but you will notice that there is a quiz. Take the quiz. It's going to be multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, a lot of fill in the blank. You can take the quizzes up to 5 times. You don't have to take them 5 times, but you can take them up to 5 times. Do note that no late submissions will be accepted. Your lowest chapter quiz will not apply to your final grade. So if something happens, you forgot about it, you got sick, your computer crashed, just know that everyone gets a freebie. But do be aware of the due dates. I'll show you where those are located. Understand everything. Discussion posts, chapter quizzes, and unit exams are open now. So you don't have to wait until the day it actually says. You can always do things earlier. And I highly suggest in an online class to submit your assignments at least a day in advance. But yeah, no late submissions will be accepted for any assignment in this course. But so for the quizzes and also for the discussion posts, I will drop your lowest score. For the unit essay exams, please take a look down here to see how they are structured. But basically, you're going to get a series of essay prompts for each unit. And that was, again, located right here. All right, so you'll go right here. And what you're going to want to do, I highly suggest doing, is physically, when you're starting with Unit 1, physically, and this is real important to do so. A lot of students ignore this advice, but I would highly suggest physically writing down each of these essay prompts. And as you go through the assigned chapters, and within the units, I tell you which essays are associated with which chapters. And as you're reading those chapters, what I highly suggest is writing down notes in response to the essay prompt. And so when you're ready to construct your essay, and I'll tell you how that will be submitted in just a little bit, you will have the notes available. So you don't have to necessarily go back and reread everything the night before the exam. You might want to take a look at this rubric right here. It explains how you will be assessed for each of the essays, for each of the unit essay exams. So do take a look at that and have that kind of handy, just so you have an idea of how you will be assessed, an understanding of how you will be assessed. The thing you want to keep in mind, let's just go through this real quick, is at the conclusion of each unit, so you want to see the schedule, and I'll show you where that is just a second, you will be asked to respond to the essay prompts. During a timed exam. So these aren't things that you will be uploading, you will be typing into a window. So you want to have them prepared ahead of time. So do note that. You want to have them prepared ahead of time. And then you're going to type them into a provided window. So yes, you will be retyping or rewriting your essays, the ones that are randomly selected. Right? So keep in mind, not all of them will be selected, but you won't know which ones will be selected. So you want to make sure you have each one prepared ahead of time. Unit essay exams will strive to respond to the entire essay prompts with specific examples, so keep that in mind. At least 5 to 8 paragraphs with fitting introduction, a body that supports the thesis statement, and a conclusion that sums up the important points of the thesis statement and supporting evidence. Each essay should include primary and secondary sources. So again, how this will work for the Unit 1 exam, they're all a little bit different, so make sure you understand. 3 essays will be selected from Unit 1. So in other words, here are the entire essays. In other words, you have basically the test bank in front of you. 3 of these will be randomly selected for the Unit 1 essay exam. All right, so let's go back over here. Right. Exam 2 has 2 parts. So part 1 will ask you to respond to an essay from Unit 1. I'll explain how that will work to your benefit in just a second. Your time limit for that one is an hour and a half. For part 2, again, it must be taken in one setting. Blackboard must be open in Lockdown browser. There's 2 attempts possible. The reason why there's 2 attempts possible isn't necessarily that I will grade both attempts. I might grade both attempts, especially if you submit it early enough. But it's just there because this is an online course and technical difficulties do happen, right? Internet goes out, the power goes out, software doesn't work correctly. So in case that happens, you can just go back and take another attempt. Part 2 for Unit Essay exam, 2 essays will be randomly selected from Unit 2. So just make sure you're clear on that. Here are the essay prompts for Unit 2 when you get there. So 2 of these will be randomly selected. And for that, you'll have a 2.5-hour time limit. And it must be taken in one setting. Doesn't necessarily mean it will take you 2.5 hours, but you have up to 2.5 hours to complete 2 essays. Blackboard must be opened in Lockdown browser, and again, 2 attempts are possible. And you can look down here to see how Unit 3 essay exam will be structured. Understand for anything not submitted, the late policy is not really a late policy, but it basically explains how you can earn credit for an exam that's either scored low or you missed it, right? So basically what will happen is that let's say for Unit 2 exam, or for Unit 1 exam, you don't do very well. Let's say you end up getting a 60% on it. But you went back and you restudied the material for Unit 1 and you did well on the Unit 2, Part 1 and Part 2. So for both units, you did well for reviewing Unit 1 within Unit 2 and for the essays in Unit 2. And you end up getting a 95% for the Unit 2 exam. The Unit 1 exam will be raised to an 85% because that's minus 95%, right? So that's how things are made up. So if you did not do the exam, let's say you missed the due date, right? Same thing would apply. You end up earning a 95% on the Unit 2 exam, right here. Then Unit 1 exam would become an 85%, right? So same would apply to the Unit 2 from Unit 3. Let's say you have trouble though, you don't do too well throughout the whole semester, but finally when it comes to the makeup exam, which is optional, you do quite well. And you can see how the makeup exam is structured down here. What this will do is it will replace any low scored or missed exams minus 5%. So let's say Unit 3 exam is a 60%, Unit 2 exam is a 50%, you didn't do Unit 1 exam. But the makeup exam, you really studied hard, you took notes, you asked questions, you did really well, and you end up earning a 95% on your makeup exam. Then all previous exams will be raised to a 90% in that case, right? So do make sure you understand that policy. It's just there as kind of a stopgap measure, so you don't get discouraged if you don't do as well as you wanted to, or if you miss a deadline for one of the exams. The schedule is located down here. Get rid of that. That doesn't apply anymore. So just make sure you understand. What I would do is print this part out and have it handy somewhere, right? If the calendar in Blackboard is different from the calendar in your course schedule, always refer to the course schedule. This is the course schedule as articulated within the syllabus. So this is what you really want to go by. Other than that, I think that's about it for the orientation. Let me take a look real quick to make sure I got everything. Kind of a straightforward. Everything in here is percentage, and so at the end of the semester, you'll have a good understanding of where you're at. It's not out of points. I hate it when instructors would do that to me. They would make the class out of some obscure number like 675, and you had to figure out, well, if I got 500 points out of 675, what is that? Right, so it's all percentage, so you will know exactly where you stand for each assignment. So all the assignments will be a percentage, and at the end of the semester, a percentage will be applied, so you will know what your points are. Well, you'll know what your grade is percentage-wise, and it's pretty straightforward. 90 to 100% is an A, so on and so forth, all the way down, right, to the failing grade, which is 59% and below. But none of you are going to do that, so you don't really have to worry about that. Plagiarism is a big issue, so make sure you're not plagiarizing. All of your work should just come straight from the course content. Let me show you that real quick, where you're going to see the course content. Once you're done with the unit exam, that will open up for you. Until you pass the unit exam, or the orientation exam, hopefully I said that right, the orientation exam, the course content will not open up. So you have to get 100% on your orientation exam. I will grade them promptly, and it will be there for you. Let me show you, though, what it will look like. So it's going to look like this. Here's Unit 1. I'm going to click here. And it's a little bit different because this is my view. It's not student view, but nonetheless, you will be able to access the chapters one by one down below. Here you will see which each chapter, you'll see which essay is associated with it. So Chapter 1, the essay prompts for the unit exam are right here. So that's what you will want to take notes on while you are reading Chapter 1. For Chapter 2, here are the essay prompts that are associated with Chapter 2. So as you are reading Chapter 2, you want to take notes on these essay prompts, and so on and so forth, right, all the way down to Chapter 5. But you'll simply click the link. Opens up a little bit differently, but it should open up automatically for you. Here are where the primary sources are located, so you will want to go through those and see if you could find some good examples to help you respond to the essay prompts. But all of the text is down below, right? If you want to navigate through it, you scroll down. These videos here are supplementary, but do feel free to go through them. I highly suggest actually going through them. They've been quite helpful to help you clarify the reading. So the videos associated with the reading, so if you click here, it'll help you get a better understanding of what's available within the readings here. Let's see. So you go through the chapter, and you're done with the chapter. There's some more videos there, supplementary material. Once you are done, go ahead and you will get to the end, which is right over here, right? So right here, this is supplementary material. Right here, you can take a look at that. But here's Chapter 1 quiz. Click that, and you'll just take the quiz, answer the question, click next, right? Go on, so and so forth. You'll get once you're done with all 16 questions, it'll tell you which ones you got right and which ones you got wrong. And if you're not satisfied with your score, you can take it again. You can take it up to 5 times. When you are done with, where did it go? Where'd it go? Oops. Hold on. There it is. There it is. Okay, so once you are done with each of the chapters for Unit 1, then you will be ready for the unit exam as you are preparing your responses to each of the essay prompts. Again, the essay prompts are listed here associated with each chapter. And so the course schedule will indicate when the exam is due. Again, where is it? Right there. Again, do keep this in mind. All of these dates are just when the due dates are, not when you have to take it. So I highly suggest taking it early. In fact, I will offer extra credit for the exams if you submit it early with a 80, probably a 75% or higher. But I'll post that in the syllabus and an announcement for the specifics for extra credit for submitting exams early. But all the due dates for the exams are listed here. So exam 1 is February 24th. So you got plenty of time to begin preparing. But yeah, do prepare as you go. Other than that, that's all I have. Thank you guys for taking a listen. Do take the orientation exam so the course content opens up sooner rather than later, and so you can get started with the course. Work ahead. It's always better to work ahead. Come in swinging. Mainly so, one, you could stay ahead of the schedule, and two, you can get confused earlier rather than later. So perfectly normal to be confused in a course, but it's much, much better when you're confused earlier before things are due rather than later. Because if you're confused the night an exam is due, then it might be hard for me to respond to you in a timely manner. All right, go forth and be great. I will talk to you guys later.